I have Debra France here from A.T.D. Gore and Associates, and she does leadership development. We were talking about psychological safety. For people that are watching us and don't know what it is, can you just say a little bit about psychological safety, and then we can explore a little bit more about your culture.
Okay. My understanding of psychological safety is that there are the conditions set up in the relationships of people on a team that individuals feel safe, capable of bringing up what's on their mind, of speaking up, of saying if there's an issue, of saying if there's a possibility. So psychological safety is the condition you set up in a group of people and in their relationships where everyone feels like they can speak up.
And in your culture at Gore, how do you cultivate that mindset and that culture within your corporation?
Okay. Well, our company was started about 60 years ago, and it was designed to be an innovation company. The two founders, the husband and wife, had no products yet. They just had two commitments. They had a material, so we're a materials company, and it's a polymer, and they had a dream of a different kind of enterprise or organization where people could do their best and be their best. Those were their two innovations, the material that would someday be products and how they would work with people. And so they started the company based on that. So we're fortunate we started this way. They knew that the products would come and that they'd have to reform around whatever those products would be. So they almost set us up for agility from the very beginning. Right, and we have very deep values that come directly from those people 60 years ago. I mean, we really respect each other. We are committed to learning with each other. We're committed to being fair with each other. We're also committed to the fact that people make their own commitments. And what that means is that as we identify the work to be done together, people deliberately and intentionally say, I commit to doing this. Now you can imagine the energy that brings. So what we really wanted to do back then, the Gores wanted to do it, and we still today, we want to create an environment where people can really come and do their best. So we really look to what are the needs people have in order to do their best. And this idea of psychological safety is just one of many ideas that actually have influenced how our relationships work inside, our norms, our processes, our routines, and all of them are designed so that the individual gets their needs met so that they can achieve higher levels of self-actualization, of creativity. These are all things that require basic levels of safety and security to do. And so a lot is built into our company so that people can reach those higher levels of creation and contribution.
I imagine that you have a challenge because when you started, the company started with this couple that had that vision, that spectacular vision. That's so important and impressive to start like that. But now you have almost 10,000 employees around the world, right? How do you do that to keep that culture alive?
That's such a great question. I think it really begins with who you invite to the party. In other words, we're very clear in the interview process and in the sourcing that we act differently, that we operate differently, and we're very clear with people that this is how we operate. It requires a lot of self-initiative to be successful in our company. You're not told what to do. Most people would say that sounds good until they have to then bring all the energy themselves. So we're very careful to be clear that we're going to have a different kind of environment, so only those who'd want to come there. And if people find it's not for them, then they leave. And yet, as much as there's like this high expectation to be a certain way, there are high rewards for it. I mean, new levels of autonomy and creativity that some people only dream of finding in their environment. So I think part of it's know yourself. As a company, you have to know yourself. And then we ask our individuals to know themselves and to say, really clearly, make this intentional commitment. And it's okay if it's not right for you. So when we go to different countries, and we're an international or multinational company, how Gore looks is just a little different in Japan because you have such a different international culture there. But we still would want our values to be lived there, and we would still have the same objective, which is that we are here to be an innovation company, to solve problems that make the world better when they're solved, and to be a place where individuals can come and be the most they can be.
And when you are talking about the company Gore, I think you have a very innovative way of the hierarchy. A very difficult word for me, but you taught me. It's hierarchy, right? Could you share with us how does it look like?
Sure. Our company we call a lattice, like a garden lattice. It's like a mesh, and what it represents is that anybody in the company can talk to anyone else. We have what I would say is low hierarchy. In other words, you can never have no hierarchy. I think all humans have a sense of hierarchy, like child and parent. I like to joke around about I have cousins who are identical twins, but they know who was born first. So I think that humans do immediately sense, who's where. But the difference is that we have leaders who have small teams or large teams or even cross-functional international teams. So they're different scope of responsibility and size of the job, you might say. But the difference is not that that person has power over someone else. They have a bigger job, but that doesn't mean they tell someone what to do. So we have some layers, but it's more about scope and complexity. It's not about power. And what that means is that people keep their own power and teams keep their own power. They'll have a leader, but that leader just does different things. That leader might ensure there are resources or ensure there's good interaction with the other teams. But they don't come back and tell people what to do. Very different. So we have low hierarchy, and it's not about power.
So the message for me is it can be done, and you guys are doing. So congratulations. And I'm honored to have you here sharing with us at Inside Conferences ATD 2019. Thank you so much, Debra.